Atha Yoga Anushasanam. Namaste. Welcome to Unravel the Thread, a podcast for people who want to apply the Yoga Sutras to yoga practice and to life today. Available online at simple-yoga.org, where you can also find the videos for practice, dozens of articles, videos for chanting, and guided meditations to enrich your practice. I am Ruben Vasquez, your companion on this journey of exploration. I am grateful for your comments and questions. It really makes my day to know that Unravel the Thread is making a difference in your practice and in your life. This podcast presents excerpts from the book Unravel the Thread, the complete guide for living the Yoga Sutras today. If you love the podcast and want to support my work as an independent content creator, on the simple-yoga.org website, you can easily donate to keep the podcast going. On today's episode, we continue weaving the thread of yoga into our lives with a yogic framework that can be used to guide our life experiment. Improvising and experimenting. I profess that I am both an optimist and an idealist. So, up until not very long ago, I used to assume that everybody who appeared successful in my eyes had figured out answers to at least some of the mysteries of life. By observing and listening more attentively, and by removing my assumptions, it became apparent that each person is conducting an experiment with their life. For instance, even when you have a recipe for a dish that you like and that you have made many times, every time you make it, despite following the recipe to a T, life in its ongoing newness and uniqueness brings variations, large or small, that influence how the recipe turns out. Of course, that is the essence of life, ongoing newness, ever transforming. All of us are currently conducting an experiment with our lives. As Samuel Butler said, life is like playing a violin in public and learning the instrument as one goes on. Some people are successful in dealing with the uncertainty of not really knowing how the experiment will turn out, while others become good at pretending they have it all figured out. In truth, since nobody has ever been in this moment before, every single person in the world is constantly improvising. This idea is so important, I will say it again. Since nobody has ever been in this moment before, every single person in the world is constantly improvising. And you? Are you improvising? Or are you absolutely clear about your life and how to live it? A helpful concept in navigating your individual life experiment is a framework, a system that provides a sound structure for your experiment. The yogic framework simply asks you to act consciously and deliberately. It is rather similar to the scientific method. Here are some helpful guidelines for applying it. The first, keep your mind open. Choose not to assume or predict. The second, notice your biases and keep them in check. The third one, use your direct experience to establish what is. The fourth, be aware that internal activities such as narrating, describing, and complaining are not what is. They are only your reactions to what is. The fifth one, let go of anything that moves you away from presence. This week, I invite you to contemplate what are the implications of recognizing that everyone is improvising. How does the yogic framework compare to the guidelines you are currently following in your current life experiment? Also, I hope you will consider whether the guidelines in this yogic framework may be useful to you. Open mind, regulate prejudices, use your direct experience, notice that your reactions are not what is, and discard what keeps you from presence. And let's see if you can use these guidelines to enhance your current framework. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that your exploration this week is enjoyable and that you will join me for next week's episode to continue learning more simple and effective techniques. Remember, if you have questions when trying to apply these ideas, do not hesitate to contact me through my website, simple-yoga.org. Also, I love receiving messages, sharing some of the discoveries that you are finding, the things that are working well for you. If Unravel the Thread is part of your day and you feel generous, I would appreciate it if you could support my work with a donation at simple-yoga.org. Thank you. And thank you also for subscribing, liking, and sharing. Remember that you can have your own copy of Unravel the Thread. Until next time, Namaste.